Hey Guest was built around the fact that you can scale the conversations with your guests. So it's not just about inbound, it's actually about scaling it. So for example, if I sent you a feedback link on email, it's not very human.
No.
Not many people click it. If you click it, you have a 30-page questionnaire. Were the toilets clean, 1 to 5?
Yeah.
It's a little rubbish. What we looked at was using AI to start conversations with your guests. So if I said to you, hey Adam, it's Charlton from Drake and Morgan. Hope you had a great evening last night. Would you mind just dropping some feedback below? Just so we can improve our service. If you got that on WhatsApp, it almost feels, as much as you've automated it, it feels like a human has actually reached out to you.
Welcome to Captive Conversations, brought to you by Captive Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Adam Foreman. This podcast brings you the best stories from suppliers, marketers, and operators from our beloved hospitality sector. Now, let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Episode 72. And we have Charlton from Hey Guest, so hi. Give everyone a little bit of a wave. There you go. I can use that as a photo now. I've been doing that the last couple of times. People don't give me the photo. I forgot to ask for the photo, so I get like a photo of someone doing this. So I might use that photo. Apologies. Thank you for coming. This is really interesting because it's a super hot topic right now. I literally just got off the phone with a customer talking about what we're going to talk about, but we're not going to talk about it now.
Okay.
So so if you didn't hear me, everyone, it was Hey Guess, and we'll talk more about that in a bit, but we'll talk about you and your history first. So we're going to go to the questions from the last guest, and that was Guy Weiss from Zenzap. He didn't know if it was an operator or not, but the second question I think was pretty good for you. So his first question was, how do you manage or what's your view on culture, and how do you create a culture in such a living and changing environment such as hospitality, especially as an operator? Well, obviously not as a technology company, but you're still in hospitality. How do you sustain a culture? He thinks it's key for business and key for scale. It's interesting because they're a technology company, and you're a technology company, but you're a technology company in hospitality, well, in other areas as well. But right now, hospo. What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, as a software engineer, I'd probably say don't ask software engineers about culture because we're nerds at the end of the day, in a good way. But we went through like a phase of, in tech. Do you remember when Google posted videos, slides, giving you free food, and it was manufactured? And they basically found it doesn't really work. The people is what makes your culture. You can hire for the best skills in the world. They could be the best in our world, the best software engineer. But if they don't get on with other people, you won't have any culture. So the key thing is to look at values over skills, first and foremost. At some point, you do just need some raw skills to get things done. But I've worked in companies where we'll have holidays away, we'll have free lunches on Friday, and essentially it turned into, well, I can't spend time by myself on Friday, So, culture is a massive thing, especially in hospitality, because humans is what makes hospitality. There's so many businesses that you don't speak to a person unless you've got a problem. Hospitality, you want to speak, you want that person there. So.
I think the relationship thing is basically what you're leading to. It's like you build that relationship with the customer, and hospitality is very much, it's not just you're selling something anymore. If you were a generic salesperson, or you built a piece of software and it was a SaaS piece of software, and it was like HubSpot or whatever it might be, it's gone and it's done. I think the thing I love about this industry is that relationship's still there, and you nurture it, and you work with them, and it's a continual conversational piece. So it's like a family. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. And that's why I love what I'm doing now, because back when I just worked in building apps and AI features and worked at some big company, I never really got to speak to people who were outside of tech. So I only spoke about problems, solutions, and that's all we did. The human side is the most important piece, and I get to speak with hospitality operators every day. And that is so nice. I've always fantasized about building a business that isn't in tech in a weird way, because it's just
when you open in the pub.
You know what? Well, maybe. I'm speaking to hospitality operators, I'm not sure I want to. It sounds very stressful. But at the same time, it's like a traditional business. It's very human.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I could do that too well, but
maybe the virtual pub.
I'll leave it to the.
I think
the
the virtual pub might be a good one.
Maybe.
So
Yeah,
that would be a good one. You can build one. Okay. Second question. He says, with hospitality, it's not quite simple to do it in terms of efficiency, but with the next wave of AI and the current wave of AI, how do you view efficiency, if at all, in this industry?
Sure. So, obviously, from our point of view, we very much look at efficiency before they make a reservation and after they make a reservation in terms of feedback and getting them to come in again. And the human thing comes up a lot. Is like you're replacing a human answering a phone call or answering a message with an automation. The thing that we sort of come back to is if you're, say, missing 30% of your calls, okay, let's say you get 1,200 calls a month just per one site, you're missing 30%. Let's say, optimistically, let's say 40% of those calls are bookings. How many of those people now that have not had a human experience in your restaurant because you didn't pick up the phone?
Yeah.
And it's, as much as there's plenty of tools to automate these things, by automating them, you're allowing more people to share the human experience in front of you in your restaurant. I don't know if you've gone to a restaurant and you've got the please wait here to be seated, and you're there for 5-10 minutes, and you see the person behind the bar and they're on the phone or doing something else. I'm real. I'm the person stood right here, and that's how. By making things more efficient, actually, your human experience is amplified.
Yeah, I think the thing is that the evolution of tech that's there now allows the people on the ground to do their job.
Sure.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's. You're absolutely right. If someone's sat there answering calls, and haven't got because there's no resource, right? That's the challenge, and obviously we'll talk about that in a bit. But having no resource, and they'd be able to give a resource to someone that could then, as you said, they're not waiting at the front door. Those I'll mention it later, but the client we spoke to a little while ago, who was like, the amount of silly questions that have now been answered has just saved us hours. So the next thing you need to do is book into a group booking platform, because that's the other questions that people have been asking as well. But I think that's the challenge. You want the human aspect to be, as soon as you walk in, you're greeted. There's always someone there, and the easy parts that don't feel too disconnected can do that for you. So amazing. All right, so we'll start with standard questions, which is best hospitality experience.
My best hospitality experience. So I go every year to Tamarot Beach Resort in Spain. There's obviously it's a whole place. In the restaurant, the reason I love it is you go there at 12, you go there at 7. It's the same people behind the bar. They get to know you throughout your stay. And you go there and you feel like, and when you come back, they know who you are, and they get thousands of guests, but when they come over and they take your order, they can have a 5-minute conversation with you about whatever it is, the weather. I mean, but they also understand when you don't want to speak to them. And I think that's a big key point. A lot of time, as a bit of an introvert software engineer, like someone comes over, I don't really want to speak to them. But I think they understand that when you're good and when you can't. So that's the best for me. Also, just a really good restaurant. I think that's double edged for the best restaurant for me.
Yeah, I think I literally was speaking again to someone else today about how the hotel game can really step it up. With especially resort wise, because if you're in a resort, you're staying there, right? You're not really going out much, so you're consistently present within there, and it's so different to a normal restaurant that you would go to, maybe because you're there, like potentially if it's the main restaurant you love, you're there every day. Right. And it's their job to understand who you are and what your sort of likes and dislikes are, and so on. And I love how hotels do that. I was aware that some was very similar experience. A couple of the restaurants were just like remembering allergens without even asking. All that sort of stuff was just fluid. I wish there was a resource for more people to be able to do that. I think technology. I'm hoping technology is going to be able there to help with that. So, but yeah, hotel thing is great, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, I think so. Going back to the automation thing, I don't think people don't want to be responding to "Can I bring my dog?" all the time.
No.
Right? They want your employees in your restaurant or your hotel have started working there because they are people. They want to be in front of people and give hospitality to people.
I agree.
The phone isn't the way to do that.
No. Okay. No self-noms, but best hospitality tech.
I have a soft spot for Res Diary.
Okay.
Purely because when I started, we'll get on to it, when I started Phoebe back in 2018 as a 21-year-old wannabe entrepreneur, I hate that word, by the way. I sent...
You can call it founder, it's fine.
Founder, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I sent an email to, I want to say, 10 reservation platforms. And we didn't need an integration to make the AI work. We still don't. But it makes it that extra, it's that cherry on top. Res Diary were the only one that responded. And they knew I was a 21-year-old founder. They knew that I was small at the time, but they were happy to speak to me, give me the time of day, actually listen to what we were doing. Back in 2018, I mean, when I was doing AI in 2018, you didn't want to say AI because people were scared of it. So that's where and I think still to this day, when we launched Hey Guest and we reached out to reservation platforms, Res Diary again were, that's great, and they're open to integrating. And I think that's the main reason. If I was to make a restaurant today, I would get Res Diary purely because I know when I want to look at the latest tech, I know that I can get an integration for it.
Yeah, it's about being open, right? I think that's a challenge, isn't it? I think there's lots of tech out there and pods and so on, and it's all. And I feel like my conversations every day are about. Doesn't have an API. There's no API.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why doesn't it? Doesn't. It's just it's sort of it's siloed. Oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
And then it opens up the whole conversation of I've got to change everything. Right. So it's nice to be able to have something that has something from the ground up and built. So,
and coming from the tech world, before I moved into this, I was so used to every system I ever used had an API or it had an open source version. And when I came to hospitality
open source bookings, that would be amazing. You want to build an open source booking platform?
We could. Bookings, it doesn't sound fun, to be honest. There's too many edge cases. But it's probably the reason why there's so many booking platforms. Someone like me wanted to integrate with a booking platform. I was very close to building my own back then. Because there wasn't enough integrations. So, I think being open is crucial for a restaurant success. I don't understand why an operator would look at a piece of software, no matter how good it is, if it's not open, why would they consider using it? Because it just locks you in.
Closed box. I agree. Okay, so we're going to go back in time to the early days of where you started. And so talk to me about the early days before the platform. Where did the tech journey begin?
So for me, I started, if you want to go really early, I started coding around about 14. Just building random stuff. There was a platform called Scratch.
Okay,
So if you want your kids to get into coding, Scratch is the way to go. And I remember in our IT class, they showed us Scratch, and we'd make little Pong games, a little Tetris game. And I remember going away, and I came back the next week. I had like a whole map, 10 different games. I had this like 3D version of a game in Scratch, which is weird. And that sort of like showed me that I liked doing that sort of thing. I think
it resonated with you.
It resonated with me. I think before that, I wanted to go into video production, CGI. I think I slowly realised that you actually have to be creative for that. I think before I was like, you've got to know the software, you've got to understand how to do CAD. Actually, it's a creativity, and I don't have that creativity. So that software outlet was a really big thing for me. And went to sixth form, started doing IT and politics and media, and I suddenly, halfway through sixth form, found an IT job at this shooting magazine. They just bought British Shooting Show, and I asked for a job, went down there, shoot some clay pigeons, gave me a job, dropped out of sixth form, and then ever since I've been in tech.
Nice. So,
yeah.
so where was the journey from? So that what was the role? Like, we just doing IT staff, or what was the role in
So
that?
that was managing a website.
Okay.
And it was like an online website.
Yeah.
So I was doing that job I was like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And I was also working at a pizzeria
Yeah.
at night time, which was sort of my intro into hospitality.
So talking about that one, because one of the questions I generally ask is, did you work in hospital early doors? Because like my nephew, for example, he has a job. He works for. He's got a job. Much older, finished college and stuff, and but he worked in a pub for a little while.
Yep.
And he is a different person from working in a pub. And I ran events, did nightclubs, blah blah blah. And so I think there's a really interesting point of your sort of like persona or your like your career when you work in hospitality.
Yeah.
That you get immersed into. I mean, it's also, listen, as a developer programmer back of house doing stuff, to being thrown into front of house.
Yep.
Or thrown into working in a restaurant.
Yep.
It's very different, right?
Yeah, and I think so I was more making pizzas and getting them out. It kind of taught me hard work in a way. I'm not saying software is not hard, but you can be very lazy building software.
Yeah, nowadays especially.
Yeah, I vibe coded an ROI calculator on the way here, right? But it taught me that you have to be quick. And one of the problems that I saw there was I'd be making a pizza.
Yeah.
Phone call. I'd go and answer the phone.
Yeah. I'm
now not making the pizza.
Yeah.
I've got a really stressed head.
Yeah.
And it take away from that experience of just. So I'm making pizzas. I'm really stressed that I'm not making enough pizzas.
Yeah.
I'm answering a phone call as a
diverted
17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then from there, when did you start your founder stuff?
That was around when I was about 20, 21.
Okay. So what happened there? Was it like, I'm going to build something, or?
So I always wanted to build something that people love.
Yeah.
That was the
dream.
I just wanted people to use the stuff that I coded, and so that was always my goal. I ended up working at a big app agency called Freeside Cube, made apps for American Red Cross, RNI, a bunch of big charities, and that was great. But I always wanted to like build my own thing. It felt like I was building what they wanted, and so I sort of just. I said to a previous employer, can you give me 2 days of work a week?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. Spoke to another one, said, can you give me a day of work a week? They're like, yeah. And then I just quit my job, spent two other days and all the nights trying to build something before I stumbled along doing Phoebe.
So then, how many different iterations of what you built till you got to that? Because that's what no one ever hears that conversation piece from the story. It's all very much like, I just stumbled across this idea and I built it.
Yeah.
How many diversions did you take to hit that?
So, Phoebe started off. I messaged a restaurant.
Yeah.
It was very simple. It was I had a baby at 19.
Yeah.
Long story. But I had a baby at 19. I sent a message to a restaurant. I said, it's quite a very busy restaurant, quite a closed call. So I was like, do you have space for a pram and a high chair?
Yeah.
Right? I got a message back saying someone will respond to you in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I, to this day, have not got a response. And there was a big thing about Domino's had an order chatbot.
Yeah.
I think it was on Facebook Messenger at the time. That was where people chatted.
God, how things have changed.
Yeah, I'm glad that's not the way now. And there was a very I always said back then, and I actually used 2025 as the year, and I said in 2025, people will not be waiting for a response from a restaurant.
Yeah.
There will be some version of AI responding to you.
Yeah.
They didn't even have people think, oh, you just go to the website. Firstly, people don't.
No.
And I've been on your website. You don't have the answer to my question most of the time.
Yeah.
So in 2018, there was no restaurant chatbot that you could go to, fill in your information,
yeah,
and deploy it.
Yeah.
as in a non-technical person.
Yeah, yeah.
If you wanted to do it, you had to go onto something like ManyChat.
Yeah.
If the keyword was booking,
Yeah.
make this reservation.
And you'd have to set it up, and you need someone else to help you set it up because and then you'd have to give your web guy who would charge you money to insert the code into that part of the website.
Yep.
Like it wasn't as simple as click and go. It was
It was there was literally no platform, and Phoebe was the first platform that you could go to, sign up, use it. Talking about Mission Mars, so Jack Edge from back when he worked at Mission Mars. This was going forward a bit, but I remember sitting down on the couch, got an email through from Stripe saying a new subscription had been set up. Completely, I hadn't sold this to anyone. I hadn't really, showed it to anyone. And it was Jack from Mission Mars, and he had put on. I think it was Albert Schloss. They had at the time. They had like 2 Rudies. And he put on one location, and I thought, I'm going to phone him. Because he put his number in. I phoned him, and he was like, "Yep, we've got like 10 more locations I'm adding tonight."
That's Jack.
Over the moon. That was Jack. Over the moon.
Find something you like, off it goes.
Absolutely. And then they used it up until COVID.
That's amazing. So were they your like first main? I mean, obviously
first, yeah. So they were the first sort of chain. I had like a few local to me in Bournemouth where had been introed and that sort of thing.
And how did you get out there? Like, what was the? I've been around for a while. I didn't know about it. So I mean, you weren't doing content about it, and so on. So
that's, I think one of your questions is about mistakes as a software guy. I love making software. Okay. I love the things that you can do with software. If you don't sell the bloody thing, no one's going to use it.
Correct.
And that is a big thing. And as much as software companies, these big hospitality software, they need to be very product led. They need to understand the problem and figure out a solution. But a lot of new founders forget to sell. They think, I'm going to build one more feature, people are going to start coming. I'm going to do this one page on the website, people are going to start. It's not going to happen. So basically, I think we did the hospitality section in 2018. And we'd literally launched at 1:00 that morning. Before that, stupidly, I thought that people needed to be able to download invoices, so I stayed up doing that. Didn't think that silly things.
So you had a stand at the show?
Yeah, I had a stand.
Okay.
Just as like a 3x2. But we had all the branding, and we met some people from there. So and that was a good show. And then from there, we just did some Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and nothing really big came from that. I was more focused on building the product and refining.
Was that more for just visibility? Did you get because back then the Hospo show, I don't know. This year was mental. This year was everyone I spoke to who went this year, who exhibited, have all said to me, "Oh man, I've never had so many people interested in it." We were talking before COVID, where people were a bit like, "Oh, go and have a look," and I'm not going to do anything about it because I don't need to. Now people need to. So was it moreover just a nice statement piece? And
it was just that sort of that way to launch, and
we're here.
Just we're here, and I think as well, not being a sales and marketing person. I felt that it was like, oh, this is easy. Go to a show. Stand up. I had my better half, my brothers, all like stood around. Everyone knew what they were selling.
And you were behind them going, go, just sell.
I was just, and
I've got to do more stuff.
I think I was literally halfway through the day. I was like, I need to fix something. But I was very focused on so before generative AI, there was something called natural language understanding. And essentially it's intent recognition and it was entity recognition. So I was very focused on the AI side, running simulations, running training models. But it was all around, it was basically, let's write down 50 ways you can say, can I bring my dog?
So it would recognise and then
can I bring my poodle? Can I bring all of these?
There's no AI intent looking at it, sending it to to ML to go. An agent that will be like, oh, I can just come back with a question. You've got through every single question over any possibility, so it doesn't fall over, right?
I looked at it about a year ago when we started getting off the ground. and I think there was about 70 intents.
Yeah.
Each one of those had about 200 different ways to say each single one.
Yeah.
But that was the sort of the USP of it. Where
Well, that must have been the sweet spot, because other ones would wait and then not understand it and then get stuck. You'd have that blocker piece of someone would say something and then break out into something else.
Sure.
So you've smartly realised that, hold on, people can say it multiple different ways. Before agentic AI and agents that were even available, you've gone to think about, oh, hold on, I don't want someone to get stuck. I want someone to get a response no matter what it is. So picking out the sweet corner of those words, which didn't exist really back then. We used Zendesk, the Zendesk chat, and it was great, but there was no you'd have to have someone. For us, we would be at the other end of it, responding to it. There was no real, you could put prompts, but nothing much else.
It was very basic back then. You had to spend a lot of time, and this is why we stayed in restaurants as a niche, because if we then suddenly wanted to do hotels, we would have to then retrain everything about how you would speak to a hotel. Whereas now, obviously, it's much easier. So one of the big things Jack actually wanted for Mission Mars was to have a chat that was just on one page. So when we built it, it was per location. Because everyone would have a single Instagram page, they would have a single Facebook page per location. I'm glad everyone's merged it now. But so we couldn't just suddenly go, add all the location requests and all of that.
So one chatbot's answering across the group.
So that was very much about understanding what they're asking. And then hard coding responses, essentially.
So then where did that grow to?
So that it didn't grow massively. It was pretty much just before COVID. But we had, I want to say, about 50 to 60 locations at its peak. I think Mission Mars took up about 12 of those. A lot of smaller independents that we've just picked up, but I didn't do any selling. So
during COVID, was it more of a reiterate, relook at, or was it more of a
COVID was a write-off. It was. You should
have been on an online ordering platform that they exploded during COVID, right?
we sent an email to all the restaurants using it. You can keep it on. You can use it for free. We're not you're not getting any messages. It's no cost to us. We don't need to run many GPUs, for example. We didn't need to run GPUs. It was different that way. So we just gave it for free, and then I essentially moved on. So I built Santana Studios, which was a development agency. So we had a couple of developers that was working on Phoebe. We then found some work. We did some machine learning, basically, and we were looking at reducing burnout in big corporations, and we were looking at email data and meetings, and if you start having more meetings and you're sending more emails, can you predict burnout in your staff?
Oh, that's interesting.
It didn't work that well.
It doesn't matter.
It did, but it wasn't.
Hold on, but was that project you were paid to do?
Yes.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work that well.
No, the AI it did. But it's one of those things that you're trying to. You've got the hammer and you're trying to find a nail. There's better ways to reduce burnout than
looking through meetings and emails.
So
Poor company that wanted to do that. Nice idea though. But that someone in the boardroom basically decided that I got a great idea. And found budget for it.
And I think I worked with a data scientist. He was still today the most intelligent person I've ever met. 4 PhDs in quantitative finance, all that sort of stuff. So it's very interesting for me because as much as I've worked in doing machine learning, I've looked at it from a very technical point of view. How do I get it up and running? I don't really have a huge understanding in terms of research of AI. So for me, actually, it was a very big character development, if that makes sense. I love doing it.
So then Phoebe was still, we're on the other side now. So Phoebe's still running?
So Phoebe got merged into HeyGuest.
Okay, cool. Fine.
By the time we're doing that, we've got generative AI.
Yes.
So
you've now reiterated and merged it into a different type of product. HeyGuest was just still just the same sort of thing, but messaging, rebrand.
So HeyGuest is there's 3 pillars to HeyGuest. So back when I did Phoebe,
Yeah.
you could not send as a business a message on WhatsApp to a human.
Yeah.
So Hey Guest was built around the fact that you can scale the conversations with your guests. So it's not just about inbound.
Yeah.
It's actually about scaling it. So for example, if I sent you a feedback link on email,
Yeah.
it's not very human.
No.
Not many people click it. If you click it, you have a 30-page questionnaire. Were the toilets clean, 1 to 5?
Yeah.
And it's a little rubbish. What we looked at was using AI to start conversations with your guests. So if I said to you, hey Adam, it's Charlton from Drake and Morgan. Hope you had a great evening last night. Would you mind just dropping some feedback below?
Yeah.
Just so we can improve our service.
Yeah.
If you got that on WhatsApp, it almost feels, as much as you've automated it,
Yeah.
it feels like a human has actually reached out to you.
Yeah. Someone wants to know.
And they actually want to know.
Yeah.
And that was the initial Hey Guest message your guests at scale.
Yeah. That's, you're right. I have to interject just slightly on the feedback thing. It depends on how it's presented, and there are some amazing tools out there that do great work. And some of the feedback things are pretty awesome with the flow, and they've thought about the journey rather than the generic form that you see that makes you feel sick. I feel sick. I feel sick inside when I see a form of like 30 things that I have to fill out. But the nicer platforms that are out there do a pretty good job with that feedback. But having the feedback via...
No, I think they're great. I think they're great
having feedback by message when someone has that, it ends up being in a conversational piece because I can then see the transactional, I can then, making it understandable, I can then see all the different messages that come from there. So and everything I've sent back and forth as well.
Yep.
So in an email, I think one of the interesting things what you're saying is you don't see the history of the email that you've sent.
Yep.
Like it's not like it's a help desk system and you're not like, you're on Google chat or Facebook chat or whatever. It's an email. So there's no context behind it. So you get that email and then you'll click a link and do your thing. The interesting thing about messaging, which is the whole part of it, is there's the history piece.
Yep.
Which I find it fascinating.
Yep.
That when someone gets a message from that, one, they sort of know potentially who it's from. They might save it into their contacts as whatever. You could give it a name of someone if you wanted to as well, right? And when they look at it, they're like, oh yeah, I booked a table there last week. So they immediately have resonance and recognize what it's all about. So the start of what you were doing was that the first piece of it?
Yeah, so it was primarily WhatsApp and trying to do that scale, and we hadn't.
So just to make people understand, there's two different types of WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
There's WhatsApp Business, which is your secondary phone number potentially, or some of my clients when I message them on WhatsApp, I get the automatic reply on their phone, or they've converted their number into WhatsApp, and then you've got the next iteration of like the WhatsApp Business API, WhatsApp Cloud or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Was that mainly generic building a number for that customer and having it from there, or was it because there's people get confused between how that all works, right?
Yep.
I can message you on WhatsApp, and we see that, and I can see on my contact list, and then I can go and plug a number in where I don't have it on a phone.
Yep.
And have that. Which route were you taking?
So we were doing the route where, you as a business would have a number, you'd buy a number.
Yeah.
If you wanted to respond to messages, you would do that within our inbox and our platform. Our platform would, if you made a complaint, it would tag it as a complaint, give it to the right person, etc. But from the guest side, there is no difference to them.
Yeah.
So a restaurant could send you a message on WhatsApp. It would have their brand name at the top. It would have their brand profile photo.
Yeah.
And when you look at the notification on your phone, it doesn't even look like a WhatsApp message.
Yeah.
There's no WhatsApp logo. It's your brand name and your brand image.
Yeah.
And it's a message.
Yeah.
Once you open it, obviously
of
you
course.
can tell it's WhatsApp. But that for the guest, there's no difference, and that was the key piece.
Yeah.
And it was more about reaching your guests on that platform. If you were to send a booking, let's just say you're sending a booking notification. Hey, you got a booking tomorrow. Big thing we're looking at the moment is pre-sales.
Yeah.
So the AI can know what you've had previously, what drinks you like. Hey, it's your birthday on Friday. You're coming in. You ordered a porn star martini last time. Would you like to have that on your table ready for you?
Yeah.
Because you have that facility and you have the AI behind it, you can just go, but yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Yeah.
and the AI would then pick that up, put it into your booking,
Yeah.
and it feels human.
Yeah.
There is no human there.
Yeah.
You could always
It's natural. I think it's quite natural, right? It just feels easy.
Yeah, one of the big things that sort of got us doing this, me and Adam were going to Nürburgring. So we stopped at a hotel. 2 hours before we got to the hotel, we got a phone call, and it said, "Hey, you're coming in at about around 6. Would you like to book in the restaurant?"
Yeah.
There was 6 of us. We ended up spending £600. If they hadn't phoned us, we'd have gone to McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? The hotels and restaurants don't have the facility to be able to do that. It just so happened that the hotel wasn't that busy that night.
Yeah.
Right? If you could do that automatically at scale and make it feel like a human's actually... If I get an email, I know it's automated.
Yeah.
The WhatsApp, even if you know it's automated, it still feels human.
It does. I don't know what it is. Even on an SMS, when I get something from like, I don't know, when I book a table on Open Table or 7 Rooms, whatever, and I get the SMS, that it still feels quite personal.
Yes.
It's the mentality of how you see it. You're used to the nowadays, like look at my kids, right? Snapchat, they'll be. I mean, next is you need to integrate in Snapchat, send messages. Then my kids will book through Snapchat.
We're looking at TikTok at the moment.
Even better. Yeah. That would be great. They would be very happy to message on that sort of stuff. But no, they wouldn't message on TikTok. They would message on Snapchat. You need to just now. That's another one for you to look at. Okay. But everyone, the messaging. You go on the train. You go on any public transport. People heads down. They're either doing stuff or they're messaging people. So it's so normal. Mm-hmm. Now, before we would email everyone and we wait for response. Everything's instant. Yep. So everyone wants an instant response. So going back to just going back a sec, when we looked at when you merged into HeyGuest, you still had the web chat as well. Yes. So that was still there. Yep. And then you basically plugged in the WhatsApp option basically.
Yeah. So when we
using using the newer technology, more AI, looking at the understanding piece. Yeah. And then basically, did you when you had WhatsApp plugged in, did you basically go to customers and say, actually, we can do this now? Mm-hmm. And what was the uptake like from when you spoke to customers? Because obviously people had your chatbot, right? They were using it. I think chatbots are still pretty great. Yeah. Some of the ones are out there are pretty pants. Yeah. I've just ordered a roll-up banner recently, and on the chat, I don't know what they use, but it was pretty awesome. Then someone came back to me immediately, cancelled the order. I stupidly put on the wrong card because I'm an idiot. Shopify, you know how it just links you in. I was like, oh yeah, I'll pay yes. And they cancelled it, and I ordered it again. They sent me a link, and it was super. But that was good customer service. That was a real person rather than machine learning. But people are used to it. So what was the conversation like when speaking to customers, saying, actually, you're using this part of our platform. Mm-hmm. Do you want to switch it?
So, yeah.
Or is it more over new customers coming in and going, I want WhatsApp art that was asking you?
What we're finding now is customers will come in and they'll go for the AI chatbot first. So they'll get the AI working, they'll take a big load off of their staff, and then they'll look at doing the WhatsApp now. So we sort of went at the wrong angle at that time because there's a lot of trust that's needed from a restaurant to be able to deploy an AI system. Yeah, because they're so human, right? And they don't want an AI to take that away. So now we're finding actually is people try out the AI first, and then move over to the WhatsApp and do that at scale because it's the same AI.
Yeah.
You know, it's more the difference is you're starting the conversation.
It's quite nice actually because then you don't have to worry about paying extra for the number. It's in your website. They can tweak it and test it, and then. I guess if it's the same thing that's responding, they're comfortable with that, and then so the next iteration is let's switch over to that. Yeah. So are you? Is it now just a link to WhatsApp, or does the chatbot start up and then send it to WhatsApp? What's the flow?
If you're coming inbound, the AI, you'll have the chat widget on your website, and you'll have obviously the voice AI. The WhatsApp actually we don't look at directing inbound to WhatsApp. Yeah, we do have a couple of small chains that do because they want to manage on WhatsApp and they want that extra piece. Yeah, but we don't do that as a default. The WhatsApp's more later. They've been to your restaurant or they're just.
And that's basically the piece of why you built it, right? The original communication. So you're saying not using it. So the WhatsApp piece is more for that communication piece. So they've either already been and you're asking for feedback, or because it's already there and they've asked for feedback. Well, the numbers are already in there, so now I can ask to potentially book, which is coming.
Absolutely.
Which is really interesting. So so you find that most people have the chatbot on the site that handles it, and then after the fact. So you're saying, so when the integrations with your integrations, if someone's booked a table, they don't want maybe to send a text message via the booking company. Would they be able to use you to go, bookings coming in? You would then generate an outbound WhatsApp to that person saying, thanks so much for booking. Here's your confirmation details. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, so that's exactly how it works.
Nice. So it's very different to other sort of like other conversational pieces of stuff. Right now, it's very much they've sent it. Some of the reservation platform has the SMS, so you can respond.
Yep.
But obviously, someone has to respond to that.
Absolutely.
So then, as you said, there's the influx of all this overload. If it's a busy restaurant, you can't respond to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a VIP, it's difficult. So yours allows to get, as I mentioned to you earlier, we have a mutual client that we're working with who has it actually the WhatsApp on their website as well. And he said to me, he said, you don't understand how many useless questions have come through that I don't have to deal with anymore.
Yep.
And he's got it now in like 6 or 7 other locations. And it made me smile because I didn't even think about the annoyances. We speak to customers about when we're talking about the whole technology piece of what they've got. Like, have you got VoIP? Do you have the IVR built into it? And one of my friends who I've known for a very long time, her group, the restaurant they have, you can't get hold of anyone. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It loops you through so many different messages that you could probably get through to someone. Now, if it was my wife, she managed to get Tesla's AI to actually get someone to call her, which I don't know how she did it, but she manages to she can do it. So I need to get her to test your platform because she'll be able to find a way of getting through it. I don't know how she does it, but it's really interesting because of that flow. So once they've got it in there, then the question is, it's added to maybe their favourites, or it's in the list. They type in the name of the restaurant. They can look down. They can just reply saying, "Can I book a table?" Right?
Yeah. So in terms of the WhatsApp stuff, so obviously there's big thing about booking notifications. At the moment, if you want to do SMS, SMS works well and it reduces your no-show. By the time that you've put the content together, they say it's like 3.9 pence per SMS.
Yeah.
That's for 120 characters. By the time you've created a nice message, you're looking at 11 pence per message. You can send that same message on WhatsApp for 1.5 pence.
Yeah.
You can put an image with it, you can put your brand with it, and people can respond. You can on SMS.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
No, it's clunky.
Natural. It's clunky.
And it's green. I got an iPhone. You got Android, but I got an iPhone. I want to see the blue. I want to see the blue. I want to see the ticks and and that sort of
what? I actually just gone back to Android.
Have you?
I was an Android fanboy my entire life.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I was like, I'm just going to get an iPhone.
Yeah.
Gone back to Android. I'm going to go back to iPhone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So weird, but
developers I speak to are like very much Android. They're friendly.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
It's about the UI, isn't it?
I don't really care about phones that much now. I have the least amount of tech in my house as possible. The only tech I really have is one of those doorbells that you can see because it's useful. A lot of my friends who are also in tech have,
I've got everything. We're talking about. I've got Ring doorbells. I've got Sonar. I'm like all over it.
I'm not that into it. I know how unsecure tech can be.
Yes, true, true. But you can probably fuck around with it and break people's tech.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's why you're like, I'm not getting anything else that's smart because I'm happy with my heating as it is.
So we did going back to WhatsApp. So James, we've been working with James Mobs at Victor's to do birthday redemptions.
Yeah.
James came to us. We're looking probably about 6 months ago, and their entire goal was double birthday redemptions, and to us the solution was it's WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that went into it. A bit of data collection with GuestWise and the smart pop-ups they have, which are really, really awesome. A little bit of mix and airship for the data, and combining that with 125. The end piece was plug that into WhatsApp and reach out to your guests on WhatsApp with a much more natural message that literally feels like someone could have phoned you.
Yeah.
And we always talk about I was not alive in the 70s or 80s, but hospitality back then was very human.
Yeah, maitre d'. You had the maitre d'.
Yeah, exactly. And
they knew who you were when you came in.
Yep.
They'd recognise you. They'd take you to your table. I work with a sound guy who is much older than me, and he doesn't want to go to a restaurant where someone takes an order pad. just doesn't want to do it. He wants to call a restaurant specifically,
Yep.
and he will go to those restaurants, and they will remember him, and he will go back consistently, and the frequency for those restaurants because he likes that style. You know, the days of the maitre d' are gone.
Yeah. And you can't. Back then, they could have phoned you and said, "Hey, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Would you like to come in?" You can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's sort of we look at that as like you were trying to replicate that same feeling.
Yeah. Let's put in the customer first, right? That's the thing. You want to be able to make it tangible, build that emotional connection.
Yeah.
And make it not feel robotic.
Yeah.
Your booking is for X. It is your birthday. Do you want X?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the way that you're talking, especially for the project that you're talking about at the moment, is to reach out to that customer, make it feel human, make the emotional connection in.
Yep.
Because then if they respond, they can ask questions.
Absolutely.
So what was the outlay of that project?
So I think the report's coming out soon because they're doing the RMI.
Oh, is he doing an RMI?
Yeah,
Okay, so
so,
let's not talk about it. James Mobbs, you're listening.
If you want to comment and give stuff, but essentially
his reports are not. He always does an RMI thing. So
Yeah.
I think last year I was like, "Give me the information." No, it's coming out when I talk about it. So it'd be very interesting to hear that.
a success.
Yeah.
So
It's very interesting because I always thought back in the day you could never do an outbound call to an outbound chat. It was always very much you have to wait to someone to chat to send you the message, and then you can respond. Because we have we use like a help desk, we use Zendesk. We have a chat WhatsApp plugged in as well as like a business and blah 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 and so on. Web chat, it's all plugged in. When we originally, I had it for like 6 years. I've had it for years. When we first got it, when someone would message it, we would want to message someone, I couldn't message out to anyone.
Yep.
They would have to message it in first.
Yep.
And then I could respond to it, which was great in the beginning because then we had loads of people on that database, and we could. Someone's not responding. There's an issue of something. The guys would be like, "Hey, just let you know this is what's going on." And now it's so different. That allows you that allowed you to basically touch people's phone. It's basically it's like touches, right? It's a single touch out, and it's such a smooth, clean touch, and not offensive.
Yeah, and I think as well, like. You know, if you send me an email, I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
I've
got millions of emails.
I obviously I'm a fan of a business, so I have to be on my email. There are plenty of people, single mothers, plumbers. They're not looking at their emails.
No.
Right. Google just puts it in a promotions folder. I'm never going to see it. With WhatsApp, so if I sent you a message on WhatsApp, the stats are 98% open rate from person to person.
Yeah.
We find it's a little bit lower from a business.
Yeah.
We're looking about 80 to 90%.
Still massive.
Still massive.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, it feels a tiny bit more personable than an email in like could be a bad way if they don't know how you've got their phone number.
Yeah.
But if you're very clear about that, it's like they've just made a reservation. You send a message.
Yeah, but you can set if they've visited an X amount of time, blah blah blah, and out you go. Okay, so now we're talking about the messaging. Now we're talking about the outbound messaging, which is just game changing. I didn't even know that was what you were doing. I didn't even know that's how it started, which is really interesting. We were talking to different CRM platforms out there that have turned off the confirmations in their reservations platform because the email templates are clunky. They can't track everything, and they're doing it through their CRM or CDP platform. So I guess that could marry up with what you're doing as well. So an email confirmation will go out from the CRM. The question for you actually, which is really interesting, is if you say plug into Airship, say someone booked a table. If the customer had opted in, then you're able to market to them, right? Because if they haven't opted in, you just send them a confirmation message. But if they have opted in, an interesting piece for you to think about, because my brain's going now, is, well, hold on, why can't I add a marketing message? Because they've opted into my database. So now I can upsell to them. Yeah,
so if you're messaging about a reservation, there's like that legitimate interest where you're literally... They've made a reservation. You need to be able to message them about that reservation.
Yes, of course.
If you're asking them if they want to pre-order some food for the reservation that they've made, absolutely, it's legitimate, right?
Yeah. But the question lies: can you say, "Oh, we also have these promotions going on," or selling them something that because there's a grey area, right? There's intent, and then there's the grey area of I am not allowed to advertise to them. I can ask them questions like, do we have this, blah, 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 or would you like the menu? Because there's conversational. But the interesting thing is that if you were to understand that they had opted in, you could add a promo in there about something else. Do you know we've got Halloween on next week, like that sort of stuff. So that's a very interesting conversation. Okay, so we've got the chatbot, we've got the WhatsApp, and they basically use the same brain. As such, which the customer can then build and configure. And then before we started, you showed me something else.
Yes.
So talk to me about that, because that is exciting.
Yeah. So voice AI was inevitable for us to do.
Of course. Same brain.
Same brain.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing.
Yeah.
Where you have one knowledge base. Essentially, the flow at the moment. If someone sends a message, let's say they're making a complaint. It will tag that conversation as complaint. It will assign it to the complaints team.
Yeah.
Only the complaints team will get that email, and then they can respond to it. But if it's like more of a general inquiry, and let's say it's about high chairs, and they don't have the knowledge about high chairs, they quickly respond to that person.
Yeah.
Go into our AI assistant studio, put in that FAQ,
Yeah.
and then going forward, the AI has that knowledge about your brand.
Okay, nice.
So the voice AI addition to that is the exact same AI. It has the same responses. We do tell it to be a bit more concise.
Yeah.
But that's like, take the 6 years of experience we've had in AI and just add on speech to text, text to speech.
Yeah.
And then you essentially have a voice AI platform. With voice AI, I've always not been against voice AI, but I would hate if I get a sales call.
I hate it.
It's AI. I hate it.
The amount of I upgraded my iOS to the new one.
Yeah.
On the beta, and I now have the call guarding, which basically means I don't get 19 calls a week from add me to WhatsApp because I have a job for you. They no longer exist, which is great. The only thing I'd worry about is that you'd have to you'd have to figure out a way of adding the note in so they put on my one. But and the other thing as well, for my wife, if you can, her ChatGPT that she uses has a deep Southern American accent. So I would ask for if you have the types of it, the AIs, do one for her and have that deep South. She loves a deep South hospitality. Nice. But you're right. So the interesting thing here now is it's using the same brain. So you've got the 3 different platforms all using this, because I think what happens at the moment is, and I had a meeting before you actually talking about the fragmented tech.
Yeah.
So someone's got X, a booking platform, someone's got a CRM, someone's got a POS, someone's got a payments.
Yep.
It's all so disconnected. He was saying like they want to change stuff and they're not sure what plugs into where, and they're sort of like they're in the air.
We need to build like a map.
Yeah, like it's that. So William Connors, who is an awesome guy, he's doing some great work.
William.
Yeah, he has built this beautiful sort of like spidergram of how things can talk to each other and where things go. So when he goes into a client, he'll be like, this is what you have, like fragmented. This is what it could be with everything flowing together. Yeah. And I think that's a part of what you're doing is adding that whole piece together. So when we talk about the voice and everything else, because you mentioned Airship and you mentioned Res, are you also like helping like you pulling information from those other platforms to enrich the data? That's
what we're looking to do. Yeah. So our main focus right now is reservations and inquiries. Our big ethos is essentially we want your salespeople to manage sales. So with Drake and Morgan, you'll see on our website I've got a testimonial, and Polly Hall from Drake and Morgan. I was responding to 30 conversations an hour.
Yeah.
Now I'm responding to 1 every 3 hours.
Amazing.
That 1 every 3 hours is a party.
Yeah.
Or a wedding, because they do weddings, right? And it's about actually
conversion,
giving the bigger bookings a way to have a more human experience.
Yeah.
And now Polly can actually spend more time focusing on that big booking while having the AI manage the 1 to 2s.
Yeah.
So with
because
voice...
you 1 to 2s, you just want them to go to the website. Unless it's general queries. We had Catherine Allen on the other day, who's like a sales expert and so on. And one of the things she said was so awesome. She was like, for your email reservations email or your events email, do you have an automatic reply? And I've spoken to 30 people since that podcast. They went, no, why do I need well, she's like, automatic reply with color coded so people understand. Yeah. First thing would be, is this a booking for up to X, like up to 6? If it is a booking up to 6, click here, we can look after you, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. Is it for an event? Here's our brochure, click here. Is it for a wedding? Blah, 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 click here, do this. Just adding that simple auto reply in gets rid of 30% of the noise. I think what you're doing as well is getting rid of 30 to 40% of the noise.
So for Drake and Morgan, on their chat, the AI automates 94.4% of their inquiries.
Wow.
So, and that's we also get AI to analyze all the conversations. So it's not just where they've been missed or the AI thinks it's actually 94.4%, and that 5% are big group bookings. The voice AI is the same philosophy. We were, out of naivety, didn't look at voice AI sooner until we saw the metrics on missed calls. And we always thought, if I phone a restaurant, I want it to be a human. If you phone a restaurant between 5 and 6 p.m, what's the likelihood?
I'm never going to get through to them.
You're not going to get through to them.
No. Or I'm going to get someone who is really frustrated and can't really doesn't want to speak to me.
And that's, when people talk about making sure you have the human experience, do you want that human experience? Like, I phoned a Chinese restaurant last week. Phone them, waiting, hang up. I'll wait 30 seconds. Phone back. Now they're busy. So now they're on the customer that would have been second in the queue, and now they're talking to them. And it's like, it just irks me. So with voice AI, we were speaking, and I think the same customer you were mentioning earlier, the missed calls on average is about 40% of missed calls. And I never realised it was that high.
I spoke to a client in Canada, potential client in Canada last year, and they're a 350 cover restaurant. They have 3 people on the front desk because the reservation system just can't handle. And you cannot handle the sheer amount of phone calls that are coming in. She goes, it is the worst. When we're full, we have to employ an extra 3 people at the front to just handle the calls. I work with a high-end restaurant in Mayfair. They have during the day 8 people handling calls. So it's huge. So 8 people handling phone calls, just phone calls.
And then you'll have
they have no IVR because the owner does not believe in filtering out the phone calls. So you have everything coming into reservations, like everything, like where stupid questions from whatever. So I think on the higher end side, there's a tricky piece of keeping that customer happy.
So it's one of those things that actually we were always like, okay, the higher end restaurants won't want AI. But what we've actually found is they actually prefer it because they want a human they want you as a guest to get the knowledge you need as soon as you can. You don't want them to waiting, if they send you a message, waiting 3 or 4 hours to get a response. And you definitely don't want them to never get a response. And that's the key thing. With the voice AI, 40% missed calls.
It's lost money, right? It's lost money.
It's lost money. But it's also, you're losing the amount of people every day that now are not coming to your restaurant and having the human experience. And that is the key metric. When you think of the best experience, the best hospitality experience you've had, you don't think of the phone call you made to make the reservation. No one does. You'll probably remember the ones where you couldn't get through, but you'll remember the experience inside your venue. So the voice AI lets more people come to your venue, essentially.
I think I'm going to speak to my friend who's got the Forever Loop and see what she says, because I think she would probably turn that on rather, because they don't have the resource to have someone consistently answering the phone. They push everyone to the website. They're so busy anyway. They would love to have more bookings, obviously, but they push people online. So it's super interesting. And especially now how AI is getting better for understanding the conversational piece. Like it's so changed. Like it's a couple of years, right? I mean, AI's been around, ML has been around for a very long time. AI, as everyone calls it, every 5 minutes there's a new AI tool coming out. And they're just plugging it into ChatGPT. But the really interesting piece here is understanding the conversational piece. And it's interesting what you said earlier about you're doing reports and understanding all the conversation that's coming in from text, from messaging, and from voice. Because that would be fragmented as well. And you'd never have that information. We have clients that answer the phone the whole time. They'd never be able to have the data that you're pulling in. It's super interesting.
Even with...
And sorry, my brain's going, I'm getting excited. And also, eventually, I don't know if you do already, but you've got the tone, right? So you've got then the thought process of understanding the behavior of the conversation. Because you don't get that in text, really.
Tone of voice is a huge thing. That's one of our primary focuses.
Yeah.
If you go on Drake and Morgan's AI and you send a message, can I bring my poodle? Every time it will say about your furry friends.
Yeah.
It will say some events are a bit noisy, and it has that tone of voice in Drake and Morgan's voice. You don't get that with staff who are serving tables and then coming back and they're stressed.
Or even the one person that's trying to answer the phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I just, my mind goes to the data that you're going to be pulling in so much information on all those three methods that, one, you can fix the customer service issues because you can understand how frustrated people are getting, I guess, and flag that. And then obviously you've got feedback and so on. It's the future is really interesting of what's possible.
Going back on feedback, so all of the feedback that anyone ever sends you goes into one pot for feedback, right? Talking about the human, the right human getting to it. You know, if you phone a restaurant and you want to make a complaint, the AI will immediately transfer to a human. Because the AI is understanding in your voice you're a little bit frustrated in what you're saying, but you can still analyze that call.
How does the breakout happen? I'm fanboying. Sorry. How does the breakout happen? So you're on the phone, you're getting frustrated. Are you listening in for the frustration and then?
So a lot of it is about the words they're using. The AI immediately within one sentence will know if you're making a complaint. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But then it's just a case of transferring the call. If you phone up a restaurant and you say, "Hey, I want to make a reservation for 16 people." Immediately the AI is like, "Yep, I'll transfer you to the right person." And now you're speaking to a human that hasn't had to just respond to 20 other
they're just waiting for it.
They're just waiting for it.
That's so interesting. The possibilities are endless. And the filtering out is something that is really is what's needed in the industry. There's definitely a need for something to help people and be that conversational piece. And I think that's really nice of what you're doing, rather than the other things that I've seen that are very robotic. And there's loads of them out there.
I've seen some. Like I saw, we had a competitor launch one a few months ago. Tried it out. You can't speak to a human. And it's that the AI isn't about trying to automate everything.
No.
Right? It's just about
taking the edge off, right?
Take the edge off. And be able to give that human experience to. If I'm making a complaint, I don't want AI to respond.
No.
I want to speak to a human.
Interesting. Just even you're right, 100%. And also the knowing when to break out, knowing when to let the customer to respond or the restaurant to respond is really tricky.
And that's like there's also like a fine line that we play where, you know, we want obviously their containment rate to be as high as possible to say, oh yeah, the AI took this much off of you, but at the same time you want to make sure that the right conversations go to the right people.
It's really interesting on understanding all the conversation pieces that are coming in, the history, and then using the analytics on the history. Because you can start building a profile for that customer, right? Looking at all the messages, understanding it, and then merging that with all the CRM data. You've got a really pretty picture of who they are.
And if you going back to the airship thing, what we want to do is take all that data and give it so you can have a single customer profile of someone. Hey Guest runs on all your communications, including email as well. Right?
Oh, okay.
So even if you don't want the AI to respond to email, you can get it to draft the response in Outlook, in Gmail, so you can just the customer service manager can see that email response.
I need to talk to you about that afterwards.
Okay.
I literally spoke to someone last week who is, I won't talk about it now, but literally everything you're saying is ticking the boxes in my head of something that didn't exist because I didn't know they did the email thing as well. So let's talk about. I'm going to talk about that later. We're going to come to the end, so I'm going to give you a little. I'm going to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much. One of the questions I find was interesting because I did give questions, but we teed off. Was this one, which is really interesting, which was hospitality is about people. Yet your products use automation. How do you make sure AI enhances the human touch rather than replaces it? And what role does brand storytelling in that? I think that was a really nice question and very suited towards the end of this conversation.
I think we spoke about bunch, but I think the key thing is what human interaction do you want to prioritize? Do you want to prioritize human interactions on the phone, before they're in your restaurant, or do you want to prioritize it in your restaurant? As a person who's going to a restaurant, I'd rather everything. I'm the sort of person that would go on your website and book a table.
Yeah.
All right. Not everyone is. I am.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think that when I built Phoebe, I was like, no one's gonna do phones.
Yeah.
Everyone's just gonna book online. That's the sensible thing to do. The stats show 40% of people still phone.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me, and that's just all bookings, by the way. So obviously you've got the extra ones that are asking questions. But it's about prioritizing the right human interactions. If you can focus, even if you're using automation, which traditionally is seen as non-human, but you're getting 40 more bookings a day across 10 sites. That's 40 more bookings, say an average of 3 people. That's,
That's crazy revenue.
120 people per day.
I think the piece really here is, in regards to this, is if you can, I like the storytelling part, and if you can feed that into the voice part of what you're doing, or the messaging, because you mentioned Drake and Morgan has the tone of voice, like fun and playful. Yeah. I think that's, if you can build that in what you're doing, it makes the product a completely different product. It's not just a messaging product that can do some fancy stuff. It's a brand tool. Yep. So anyone can message and ask questions about the brand or about that restaurant, and being responded in that tone of voice, which I think is really important. So I feel that it is giving, it feels like more human touch than anything, because you're able to control the content and the brand voice. I think that's really important.
And don't get me wrong, if a restaurant could answer every single call, every single message within a few minutes, and you could give that human touch, and they could send me a message asking if I want to make a reservation at a hotel, that is great. Yeah. You should do that. The reality is, you can't. It's too expensive.
Well, unless your occupancy is 100% every day, and you're in Mayfair and you can afford it. Absolutely. If you're a members club, I think members club is probably the one that's out there. And I did speak to one today that have that challenge, where they're a smaller members club, and they're not. It's a membership option. It's an awesome space, and they're not Annabelle's and others and Soho House and so on. That they don't have that broadness, but they also want to give the best. Yeah. So I think if you're up to that tier, you've got that technology, you can afford it, you put it in. So, so I'm going to give you another round of applause. Thank you. And we're going to go for the last questions, which are, and I forgot to, I think I forgot to ask you the 2 questions. There will be 2 questions for the next guest, which I didn't tell you, which I'm very sorry. So we're going to have to spin that off at the end. But best restaurant.
Best restaurant. The one in Tamarack. Yeah. So over in Spain, just the hospitality is amazing. Perfect. You feel like you know the people. They'll speak to your kids. It works. It works.
Perfect. Best burger.
Best burger. So I'm a simple man. Yeah. Back where I used to work at Best Pizza, they made a chicken burger. Yeah. But essentially, they got the sliced fillets stored in like some milk and some seasoning. They take it out when you order it, put it into breadcrumbs, chuck it in the deep fat fryer. The burger bun is that size. The chicken is that size. Oh, nice. Juicy, little bit of lettuce, little bit of mayo, perfect. Nice. Nothing too complicated. If I'm ordering a burger, I want it wider, not bigger. I hate.
You're not a smash burger.
I hate tall burgers.
A smash burger?
Smash burger's fine. Yeah. But don't shove like 5 onion rings to make it like this big. I'm gonna take them out. And I hate. The other thing I hate is.
Well, you have I
have the beard, man. And I hate taking things out.
They should see you. They should see you and go, he doesn't want the big one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Best hotel. I think, is it the same hotel?
Best hotel. That's more resort. Yeah. Best hotel, and it's a bit of a left field one because it's not really about the experience.
No, that's fine.
For me, the best hotel is East Midlands Airport. Okay. The reason being is because it's about 5 minutes away from Donington Circuit. Yeah. So if all else fails, make sure your location's right. Nice. So, because me and Adam were both bikers, we like to go on the track. So nice. For me, that's the best hotel. Other than that, I'm not a massive hotel person. Yeah. I like more of a resort or complex. Yeah. To me, a hotel is I'm staying over in London for a meeting tomorrow. Yeah. Not a hotel. Not a holiday. Convenience, and I want a good sleep. Yeah. I'm not bothered about your hospitality. Yeah, because you're not for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, you're not staying there. You're just using it. You're using it. Yeah. I understand that. Okay.
I mean, throw me a tenant in Donington, in Dartmouth. Yeah. I'd much prefer a tenant in Dartmouth. I'd probably get a better sleep as well. So.
I'm with you. Okay. Another round of applause. 2 questions for the next guest.
gosh, I didn't come up with these.
I know, I didn't. I was looking at my notes going, I didn't send this to him. So the next one could be an operator, a marketer, could be anything. Actually, it's interesting for you because you can probably do a spin on what you do.
Okay, so there's one thing that really gripes me about going to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And there are some solutions, and I don't think they've got it quite right. I don't know the solution to this. I hate, at the end of a meal, when I ask for a bill, I hate waiting 20 minutes to get the bill.
Yeah.
And when they come over with the bill, I hate asking them for a credit card, for a card machine, and I'm waiting 20 minutes for them to bring over a card machine. If I say I want the bill, I want to go. Yeah. All right? And I know that's not the same for everyone.
I'm the same.
But also, quick solution, pay at table.
Yes.
All right? The problem with pay at table, if I pay, I know I can go. Yeah. But I haven't said bye to the waiter or waitress, and you're actually losing that human touch at the end. There needs to be a middle ground. Yeah. Where if I ask for the bill, I can get it instantly. Yeah. And I can still speak to someone. I can still tip them right there and then, but quickly. Yeah. Because if I ask for the bill, I want to go. Yeah.
I think from my experience, looking at the whole tech platforms, there are some really cool sort of like order at table solutions, so you can see the bill. Yeah. I have to check. Pizza Express are an awesome app that's plugged into by MethodWorks. It's a really nice app. You can see when the guy is ordering next to you. Not that I'm a massive Pizza Express fan, but it's gluten. My kids, wife and my daughter's gluten free, so easy and local. When they order, you see it pop up on the app. Right. And then you can see everything, and then you can either choose to pay or not. Some of them are pretty nice out there. The other order and pay apps out there, some of them, interesting enough, the restaurants we work with, some of the higher end ones, don't want you to pay, but they will let you QR it and have a look and see on there, just so you can see what's going on. Or if you did need to do something with it, some of them are really interesting. You take a QR code and they will put it on the table at certain times throughout the day. So at lunchtime, they'll put the QR on there so then if people want to leave. But dinner time, they don't want to do that because they have enough staff to do it. So, but I understand what you're saying.
I remember this was pre the war. Yeah. But me and my uncle went to Ukraine. We went to Chernobyl, the nuclear power plant, and we were at a hotel, and we asked for the bill. Yeah. They came over, and they immediately gave us 2 separate bills. Yeah. That we could choose to pay. I could pay. Yeah. And we had the separate bills for each of us, so we could immediately pay.
Yeah. I like that.
And I looked at my uncle and I was there like, this is amazing. This was like the best thing ever because you don't have the awkwardness of like paying for other people, or if you want to, that's absolutely fine. You still can. Yeah. But you could immediately just go, yeah, cool. They've already split the bill for you. Yeah. And that was amazing. I think people have started to do that now. Yeah.
Was it split by what you had, or not? Was it just down the middle?
I can't remember.
That'd be so interesting, wouldn't it?
I think there was even an option to do that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it was split by what we had. Yeah. So we knew they knew exactly what we had.
So they've done it per seat. So they've ordered your food and your seat number 1 and seat number 2. Yeah. God, that's interesting.
And don't get me wrong, I like paying for the table.
Yeah, me too.
But
that's clever.
It was.
It would make me smile. Yeah. That's something. And you
honestly,
remembered it because it's an emotional piece.
I don't remember the rest of the hotel, but I remember that, and we just looked at each other in shock. We were just like, this is. It was just different. I mean, at the time,
again, you were inside.
Maybe this is just a Ukrainian thing,
you're inside a hotel, right? Yeah. So hotel and F&B.
It was a good.
Is very different.
It goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. So let's. I'm going to put it on the pod anyway. Where do people find you? How do they see? How do they connect? Where do they see the product?
So heyguest.ai. If you just search HeyGuest, you'll find us. We also show up on ChatGPT as well, which is surprising. But we have an AI chat widget on the top, on the bottom right. If you want to speak to a human, just say, "Can I speak to a human?" And we'll be there.
Nice.
You can also book a demo.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you. I'm going to give you another round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. Give everyone a little wave goodbye. Thanks, guys.